There isn't much I haven't already said about this film that I didn't already say in my past response to Confused Matthew, if any of you watched that. So I'm going to keep this review fairly short. But let me say first off that I am glad this film was released, because this film is the official start of the summer season. Not Wolverine, this film is. This is the good way to start off the summer season. So let me give you the basis of the plot for this film. We are about 200 years in the future, and a Federation ship by the name of the Kelvin is exploring an uncharted part of space, and they come across a black hole where a Romulan ship comes forth from it. It turns out that this Romulan ship has accidentally come from the future. These Romulans have just witnessed the destruction of their home planet, Romulus. So of course, they're all royally pissed off. So they just start seeking revenge on anyone they see at that particular moment. And of course, the first ship they see is the Kelvin, and proceed to beat the living hell out of it. What we realize is that the first officer on the ship, who quickly becomes the captain of this ship, is James Kirk's father, who is of course a main character from the original Star Trek. So, in the first 5 minutes, these Romulans alter the course of history by killing off Kirk's father. So the basis of this film is that the timeline from the original Star Trek has been changed. Kirk no longer knows his father, because he died in this battle. So a lot of his life experiences have now changed from the original series of Star Trek. Now let me say that while I sat there and watched this film, I was in love with it. The plot overall was good, the special effects were amazing, and I loved the actors and actresses in this film, with very few exceptions. I thought that the majority of the cast did a phenomenal job playing the parts that they were assigned. Now the one thing I was interested in seeing is that whether or not this film was going to be accepted by hardcore Star Trek fans and general movie fans alike. So far, I think that's the case. General movie fans have loved this film, and I have known a lot of hardcore Star Trek fans who have also accepted this film. Now, I've also met some and spoken to some who have hated the hell out of this film, and I've gotten their word from it, and I respect their opinions on it. However, the fact that there are some hardcore Trek fans who are accepting this film and liking this film tells me that this is a film that both Trek fans and non-Trek fans will enjoy. Now, there have been a couple of big criticisms for this film. The first one I address in my response to Confused Matthew. Another criticism is that the special effects in this film are way too overbearing. What I mean by that is that the special effects are way too bright, way too colorful. Personally, I thought the cinematography and special effects in this film were beautiful, because I have seen films where the special effects are way too overbearing and way too colorful. A perfect example would be Speed Racer. If anyone watches that film, you will be shocked at how overdone the special effects are in that film. That is a far extreme from this film. I thought the special effects in this film were done quite well. And again, as I mentioned before, I didn't think that there was one cast member that didn't do a fine job with the part they were assigned. There were a couple of parts that I didn't think were done as well as others, but in general they did a pretty good job. So, final rating. I think that this film is the perfect way to start off the summer season. As I mentioned before, it's not flawless, it's not perfect, but it is certainly a good film to kick off the 2009 summer season. I'm going to give this film 4 stars. The cast, the special effects, the cinematography, all work well in this film. I would recommend this film to you even if you are or are not a Star Trek fan. And it is certainly worth the full price at a theater. And speaking of hardcore Trek fans, let me say how shocked I was when we actually saw some of them come into our theater for the midnight show this past Thursday. I'm sitting there and I see 3 or 4 kids walk in wearing the full Star Trek gear, a couple of them wearing the Vulcan ears. I'm just like, oh my god. I didn't expect these type of people to come into our little theater, you know? And of course a couple of them give us the whole live long and prosper thing, and I just say, oh, well, okay, thank you.
Yes, live long and prosper.
Yeah, word to your mother. Yeah, sure. Take care.